Have you ever felt that people treat you differently now than they did years ago, but you can't quite put your finger on why? Maybe someone you care about seems more distant lately or subtly avoids certain types of conversations with you. The truth is, as we get older, we can develop certain habits that create invisible barriers between ourselves and the people we love, or even strangers we meet in passing. These behaviors often go unmentioned because people don't want to hurt our feelings, but they notice them all the same. Yep. In today's video, I'm going to expose 7 key habits that many older adults accidentally pick up over time. Habits that can push people away without us even realizing it. By understanding and addressing these subtle pitfalls, you'll be able to maintain strong relationships, communicate effectively, and continue to enjoy a rich social life no matter your age. And I promise, if you stick with me until the end, you'll discover simple but highly effective ways to remain confident, approachable, and, best of all, happy with who you are at this stage of life. Let's dive right in. Sri Wakan 1. Neglecting personal appearance and grooming. One of the first changes people often notice in someone as they get older is a shift in personal grooming standards. You might think, well, I'm comfortable. Why should I bother to get a new haircut or a fresh shirt every day? But comfort can sometimes lead to complacency. And while it's great to prioritize practicality over flashy fashion, there's a fine line between being relaxed and appearing as though you've simply stopped caring. When you were younger, you might have had regular haircuts, trimmed your beard or mustache meticulously, and perhaps even used a favorite aftershave. Over time, maybe you let the schedule slide. It's easy to miss a few trims here and there, or decide that the same pair of pants should be fine for another couple of days without a wash. But other people notice the small signs: a disheveled hairstyle, nails that haven't seen a clipper in weeks, or clothes that aren't as fresh as they could be. Most friends and relatives will never say, "Hey, you smell a bit off today," because they're too polite. But inside, they pick up on these signals, and it can subtly influence how they interact with you. Some might stand a little farther away, avoid getting too close, or change the topic when they notice an unkempt look. That distance can accumulate, slowly but surely, until one day you wonder why you feel isolated. What can you do to fix this? The good news is that these are some of the easiest habits to turn around. First, make a small schedule. No need for anything elaborate. Decide on particular days to handle personal grooming. Maybe Mondays for a thorough nail trim, Thursdays for a quick hair touch-up, or a hot shower plus a good moisturizing routine. Next, consider refreshing your wardrobe with a couple of well-fitting basics. You don't have to chase fashion trends, but a clean, sharp-looking shirt can make all the difference in how others see you and how you see yourself. This small effort communicates, "I respect myself and I respect your company." You might be amazed how something as basic as a proper grooming routine can reignite people's warmth toward you. It's one of the most immediate, tangible changes you can make. And the best part? It doesn't take much time, yet the results are almost instant. 2. Speaking too loudly or interrupting others. Have you ever found yourself in the middle of a family gathering or a casual conversation, suddenly noticing that others look a little uncomfortable as you're talking? Perhaps you see them leaning away slightly, lowering their voices, or even exchanging uneasy glances with each other. This might be a sign that you're speaking at a volume that's a few notches higher than necessary, or possibly cutting people off without realizing it. Age-related hearing loss is more common than many of us like to admit. When our own ability to hear diminishes, it's natural to compensate by projecting our voice more forcefully. Sometimes we unintentionally interrupt others because it's harder to detect the subtle cues that let us know someone else wants to speak. The result can be a conversation dynamic where the other person feels overpowered, or where a group discussion turns into a single booming voice overshadowing everyone else. Of course, nobody wants to be the friend or family member who constantly asks, "Am I too loud?" Or, "Could you repeat that?" But ignoring potential hearing issues can create a rift. People might start avoiding longer chats with you or choose text messages over phone calls. They might simply stop contributing much to the conversation and let you take the stage to avoid confrontation. What's the solution? One of the most straightforward steps is to get a hearing test if you suspect any issues. Modern hearing aids are subtle, often nearly invisible, and they can dramatically improve your ability to moderate your voice and engage in balanced conversation. Even if your hearing is fine, just being aware of your volume and making a conscious effort to pause before responding can work wonders. Give others room to finish their thoughts. Count to 3 in your mind if you have to. Sometimes just a brief moment of silence is all it takes to ensure a smooth, two-way dialogue. Another tip: observe how people respond physically. If someone leans closer to you, that might suggest you can speak more softly. If they step back or start fiddling with their phone, it could be a sign they feel overwhelmed or excluded. Conversation is a two-person dance, and tuning into these cues can help you find the perfect rhythm. 3, wearing outdated or ill-fitting clothes. Let's be honest. Clothing can be a deeply personal choice. Perhaps you have a favorite sweater from 20 years ago that holds cherished memories. Or maybe you've always been a fan of comfortable shoes, so you stick to the same worn-out pair. But here's the thing. Clothes, whether we like it or not, act as a form of communication. They say something about how we see ourselves and how we want the world to see us. When we settle for clothes that are too baggy, too tight, stained, or decades out of style, it can project a message of apathy or a lack of self-awareness. It's not about impressing everyone with flashy designer labels. Rather, it's about showing that you still take pride in how you present yourself. People subconsciously pick up on this. If you're wearing items that are tattered or look like they haven't been changed in a week, it can suggest to others that you've given up caring about how you come across, even if that's not true at all. One might argue, well, why does it matter? I'm not here to impress anyone. And it's true that comfort and authenticity are extremely important. Yet when you put in just a bit of effort, choosing clothes that fit well, are clean, and reflect your current lifestyle, you'll notice a tangible difference in how others respond to you. They'll see you as someone who's vibrant, engaged, and taking care of themselves. Trust me, it can spark renewed respect and interest from both old acquaintances and new. Consider this approach. Do a closet audit. Pull out every piece of clothing you own and ask yourself, does this still represent who I am today? Does it fit comfortably and flatter my body? Is it in good condition? If it's riddled with holes or it's 2 sizes too big, it might be time to donate or toss it. Then pick a few timeless, versatile pieces. Maybe a nice pair of slacks, a well-tailored jacket, or a couple of shirts in colors that complement your skin tone. Updating your style doesn't have to cost a fortune. Many thrift stores carry quality garments in great shape. By curating a small but polished wardrobe, you'll feel a boost of self-esteem every time you step outside. 4. Constant complaining or criticizing. Have you ever started talking about how things were better back in the day, only to see the younger people around you roll their eyes, or even the older ones quietly drift off in search of another conversation? It's not that folks don't appreciate nostalgic insights or valid criticisms of modern life. Rather, it's the tone and frequency of negativity that can weigh people down. As we accumulate life experience, it's natural to see the flaws in the world around us. We might lament the decline of certain traditions, the way technology can alienate people, or how the news seems constantly grim. But if most of our sentences revolve around, kids these days don't understand, or why does everything have to be so complicated now, we risk alienating those who'd otherwise enjoy our company. They start to associate us with a wave of complaints, which doesn't exactly invite them to spend time with us. Even if every complaint we make is factually correct, constant negativity saps the energy out of a room. It can feel like trying to walk through knee-deep mud. People gravitate toward those who, at the very least, balance criticism with hope, humor, or open-mindedness. Being known as the friend or grandparent who always has something negative to say can cause others to keep interactions short and surface level. What's the remedy? Awareness is the first step. Try this exercise. For one day, make a mental note each time you voice a negative opinion or complaint. You might be surprised at how frequently it occurs. Then challenge yourself to add a positive or curious statement in the same conversation. For instance, instead of saying, "I hate how these smartphones ruin face-to-face interaction," you might say, "I miss the good old days of personal conversation, but I'm curious, how do these newer apps make life easier for you?" This not only avoids shutting people down, but invites them to share their perspective in a meaningful way. Over time, you'll train yourself to be more constructive. Sure, you can still express valid concerns or critiques. After all, you've lived a long life and have invaluable wisdom to share. The key is to make those criticisms more palatable by mixing in empathy, genuine questions, and a willingness to learn. In doing so, you'll discover that people are eager to hear your insights rather than bracing themselves for another barrage of complaints. I'd 5. Ignoring posture and body language. Picture a moment in your daily routine. Maybe you're standing in line at the grocery store or you're waiting at a bus stop. How's your posture right now? Are you hunched over slightly, arms folded across your chest, eyes to the ground? The way we carry ourselves physically speaks volumes before we ever open our mouths. Posture can change with age due to factors like joint stiffness, muscle loss, or simply the habit of sitting and standing in less than optimal positions. Over time, this can lead to a permanent slouch or a sense of shrinking into ourselves. While it's nothing to be ashamed of, bodies do change as we get older. Learning to maintain a more upright stance has remarkable benefits. When you slouch, others might unintentionally perceive you as timid, frail, or disengaged. Meanwhile, a more upright posture, shoulders back, chin up, projects confidence and vitality. People often react more respectfully and positively to someone who appears self-assured, regardless of age. So how do you improve posture and body language? Start with a simple mental check-in every time you stand up. Imagine a string gently pulling the top of your head toward the ceiling. This elongates your spine. Next, roll your shoulders back slightly to open up the chest. Practice this a few times a day until it becomes second nature. Body language goes beyond posture, too. Make eye contact when speaking to others, and keep your arms relaxed at your sides or use them in natural gestures. Avoid crossing them over your chest, which can look defensive or closed off. If you're sitting, place your hands on your lap or on the table in front of you so you appear more approachable. These small adjustments can make a massive difference in how people connect with you, restoring warmth and mutual respect to every interaction. 6. Overlooking personal hygiene, breath and body odor. This is the elephant in the room. Nobody wants to talk about it, but it's often the first thing people notice. As we get older, our sense of smell can decline, making it harder to detect our own body odor or changes in our breath. Certain medications can also contribute to dryness in the mouth, leading to persistent bad breath. Yet because this topic can feel embarrassing, friends and family typically won't point it out until it's become a serious problem. The last thing you want is for people to keep a physical distance from you simply because they find your breath unpleasant. You might chalk it up to them being busy or short on time, never realizing there's a simpler explanation. The result can be a whole host of misunderstandings. Perhaps you think, they never stay for coffee anymore, when in reality they're trying to avoid an uncomfortable situation. What to do? First, ensure you're drinking enough water throughout the day. Hydration is one of the easiest ways to combat bad breath. Chewing sugar-free gum or sucking on sugar-free lozenges can also help stimulate saliva, keeping your mouth from getting too dry. Regular dental checkups are crucial, especially if you have dentures or any ongoing oral health concerns. For body odor, a good shower routine is key. This doesn't mean you have to scrub yourself raw, but focus on areas prone to sweat and bacteria buildup. A mild, pleasant soap can make a huge difference. Consider using a deodorant or antiperspirant that suits your skin type. Make sure to wash clothing, especially undershirts, regularly. Sweat can linger in fabric fibers, even if you think it's unnoticeable. A subtle but pleasant personal scent, like a light cologne, can also create a positive impression. Just be mindful of overpowering fragrances. A gentle aroma is enough to signal freshness. Small daily changes can ensure that people lean in closer for a chat rather than sidle away hoping you won't notice. 7. And shutting down or refusing to learn new things. Our final habit is a bit broader and perhaps less obvious than the others. It's about adopting an attitude that says, I'm done learning, or that modern stuff isn't for me. While everyone has a right to their personal preferences, an unwillingness to try new things can lead to social isolation more quickly than you might imagine. Think about it. Technology evolves rapidly, and younger generations adapt to new tools every day. Smartphones, social media platforms, messaging apps, online video calling, and so on. You don't have to become an expert on every gadget or trend, but completely refusing to engage can create a disconnect between you and your family or friends. If you only want to chat on a landline, but your grandchildren only text, you're missing a vital channel to stay in touch. If you dismiss every modern hobby or entertainment as nonsense, the gap between your interests and those of your loved ones widens. This doesn't just apply to technology. It might be a new style of cooking, a type of exercise class specifically designed for seniors, or even a local community group. When you close yourself off from trying something outside your comfort zone, you send a message that you're not interested in growth or shared experiences. Over time, people who do engage in these new things might stop inviting you altogether, assuming you'll say no. So how to fix this? Stay curious. Ask your kids or grandkids to teach you a little about their favorite app or game. Even if you find it perplexing at first, your willingness to explore communicates respect and openness. You might find yourself pleasantly surprised by how these tools can help you keep connected. Likewise, if someone suggests a new restaurant or an activity, consider giving it a shot before dismissing it. You don't have to love everything new you try, but every attempt is a chance to keep your mind sharp and your relationships dynamic. Once you break that mental barrier, you'll realize learning is one of the most gratifying experiences we can have at any age. Embracing novelty can reignite a sense of youthful wonder, and it keeps you relevant in the lives of those around you. Iwasura Wainani. Final thoughts. If you've recognized yourself in one, two, or maybe all seven of these habits, don't feel discouraged. Recognizing an issue is the first step toward meaningful change, and the fact that you're watching this video shows you care about improving your connections with the people around you. That in itself is a powerful sign of growth and self-awareness. Here's the bottom line. Aging does not mean losing your influence or your place in the world. It can be a time of tremendous wisdom, depth of character, and renewed passion for life. Provided you address the small but important habits that might be blocking you from fully enjoying this stage. Whether it's maintaining a fresh look, balancing your voice in conversation, keeping a clean living space, or nurturing a willingness to learn, these adjustments can dramatically enhance how others perceive you and how you feel day to day. I invite you to pick one habit from today's discussion and try making a positive change in the coming week. Maybe you'll set a reminder on your phone to drink more water and keep your breath fresh, or you'll schedule a haircut and buy a comfortable yet stylish outfit. Perhaps you'll watch a short tutorial on a social media platform your grandkids adore, or commit to listening more actively during dinner conversations. Even a small step can set a ripple effect in motion, attracting deeper friendships, respect, and genuine warmth from the people who matter in your life. Lastly, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Which of these 7 points resonated with you the most? Have you noticed any of these habits in yourself or in someone close to you? Share your experiences in the comments below. Your story might help someone else realize they're not alone in facing these challenges. And if you found this video valuable, please hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you won't miss future content designed to keep you informed, inspired, and empowered at every age. Thank you for spending your time with me today. Remember, small intentional changes can create a huge impact on your overall well-being and the relationships you treasure. Stay curious, stay open-minded, and I'll see you in the next video.